Homeland Security Secretary Nielsen, Senator Ted Cruz, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, all recent targets of the far-left mob. But over at fake news CNN, their word police, well, they've taken over. Believe it or not, some of their hosts are actually shaming guests for using the proper term, which is mob. When they want their liberal friends run out of restaurants, like Sarah Sanders, Pam Bondi, Secretary Nielsen. Watch this.
When you see people like Ted Cruz getting chased out of restaurants by a mob,
You're not going to use the mob word.
It's totally a mob. It is without a doubt. There's no other word for it. It's a go on, put up the video.
Mob stop.
Stop. That is mob behavior.
How many times has that happened?
Everybody stop, everybody stop. Matt, we already did that.
Okay.
We already said they weren't mobs. No, it's not mob behavior. It's people who are upset and they're angry with the way the country is going and the policies that these people are. Will you let me finish, Matt, please, before you jump in?
While the left-wing media, fake news CNN, they're asking you not to believe your lying eyes. You, the American people, of course you know better. Your head is not buried in the ground like theirs. And you know a mob.
Okay, guys, this is cool. Try to show it. It's 1-1. Okay, guys. Let's step back up the camera.
Yeah, brother.
Right here.
You're a little lady, aren't you? The First Amendment.
There we go.
That's a mob. Now, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who called on the mob to harass conservatives at gas stations and grocery stores, etc., she's actually now audaciously blaming President Trump, of course. Watch this.
We cannot allow Donald Trump and anybody else to take protest away from us and to deem it to be violent and to try and make us look like a mob. They're trying to change the description of protest and call it a mob. Well, this president is the poster boy for what a mob protester looks like. He is a matter of fact, he's the one who has been violent in his speech. This country is past due for the kind of protest that we have seen women do in the last few days.
Now, to think that Congresswoman Maxine Waters could be a committee chairman if Democrats take back the House in 27 days, that brand of vitriol, that could have real consequences. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, he issued this urgent warning earlier. Take a look.
When Democrats say get up in their face, they need to realize that there are a lot of unstable people out there. There are people with anger issues. There are people that are prone to violence. They might even live next door to you. You don't know where these people are. But what we shouldn't do is incite people to violence. The problem is rational people might back down. But what's going to happen when the guy comes with a gun to a rally or comes with a knife to a rally? There is going to be an assassination if this doesn't ratchet down. And I think the other side needs to really calm the rhetoric down.
Remember, Senator Paul was attacked in his home. He was a senator. His private information was docked by far-left activists. Senator Paul's wife, Kelly, now sleeping with a loaded gun by her bed. And sadly, many Republicans' private contact information, that is being made publicly available by extreme left-wing radicals. Democrats in the House, they're still planning to wage a never-ending, full-scale investigation into everything. Let me make you a promise tonight. We will be watching every day. Let's see if they do anything for you, we the people. And by the way, they just want to attack Trump. They don't care about anything else. That's their top agenda item. Gerald Nadler will likely be the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Well, he's actually overheard on a train from New York to D.C. bragging about his plan to launch full-scale investigations again after 2 years into Russian collusion and plot to impeach Judge Kavanaugh. Good luck with that. Now, he's not the only Democrat plotting endless investigations. Likely incoming House Intel chair. He's really the biggest liar in Congress. Adam Schiff wants to be a TV host on MSNBC. He has similar plans. Take a look.
While the Republicans walked away from the investigation, the Democratic minority has continued, and we've been bringing witnesses in, and we've been learning more. And that work won't stop when we take the majority, but we will be able to get answers the Republicans were unwilling to. The Republicans wouldn't ask for. The question, though, that I don't know whether Mueller has been able to answer, because I don't know whether he's been given the license to look into it, is were the Russians laundering money through the Trump Organization? And that will be a very high priority to get an answer to, for the reason that if they were doing this, it's not only a crime, but it's something provable, something that the Russians could hold over the head of the President of the United States.
Oh, and let's not forget about Congresswoman Peach 45, reclaiming my time, Maxine Waters. She's now hoping to become the next House Financial Services Chairwoman. Instead of working for the betterment of all Americans, she is plotting revenge, impeachment, and as the head of that committee, she would be overseeing
So
Wall
guys,
Street.
what do you think I should get? A computer and a camera, or just a camera that can hook up to my phone? Okay. Let's get back on that.
Well, it's going to be an entertaining 2 years. Our job, we will be keeping an eye on all of them. Now, Democrats, they're now taking their cues from their de facto leader. Of course, Nancy Pelosi, and her track record, her leadership is suspect at best. Take a look. Watch this.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it, away from the fog of the controversy.
If what you're doing is cutting the taxes at the high end, and therefore not being allowed to invest in the future, you're doing a grave disservice to our country.
We all agree that President Trump's decision to end DACA is a despicable act of political cowardice.
Donald Trump is a job loser.
The debate on health care is life-death.
Well, I want a single payer. I mean, I wanted I don't love a single payer, but we're not. In terms of the bonus that corporate America received versus the crumbs that they are giving to workers to kind of put the schmooze on, is so pathetic. So what?
Sorry guys, we'll be here after a little commercial.
Is being called into question. I'm very worried about his fitness.
So we're back. He had some.
Right, do you see anything there indicating Democrats have plans to make your life better? Of course not. They're on a path for revenge, and this is all about a quest for power.
828.
And we'll have more in the special edition of Hannity as we return. Straight ahead.
We live like no one's watching. Laugh like there's no tomorrow. And welcome you to do the same. The United States Virgin Islands.
Okay, guys.
Born in the same hospital, destined to cross paths again, on opposite sides of the fiercest rivalry in sports.
Why is it so hot? Boy. Okay, guys.
I didn't dare go far.
Okay, Massimo is there.
With an Imaging 1 oxygen concentrate.
The stupid teddy bear is there.
Air around you, so you'll never worry about running out of oxygen again.
Here is it,
going to run out
and you guys are going to watch.
And it was like freedom. I got my life back. I really love my Imaging. The Imaging 1G4 is lightweight and compact. Plus,
when
it's
I get my
battery
camera,
operated,
this
so
will
you
be
can have
so
oxygen
much easier,
anytime,
guys.
anywhere.
When I get my camera.
Do I think Imaging is worth the money? You better believe it's worth every single penny of it.
Call now for your free information kit. There's no obligation. Imaging. Oxygen anytime, anywhere.
Call 1-800-513-5769. That's 1-800-513-5769. Call now for your free information kit.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can be a big deal. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently. For psoriasis, 75% clearer skin is achievable with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. For psoriatic arthritis, Otezla is proven to reduce joint swelling, tenderness, and pain. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to get Otezla, show more of you.
Only days left for you to become a Fox Nation founder.
Get new live opinion shows daily and must-see documentaries and specials, plus exclusive merchandise and special access to events.
Fox Nation, opinion done right. Welcome back to the special edition of Hannity. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have left this evening. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We thank you always for being with us, and let not your heart be troubled.
Guys, I have to move you for a second.
Laura Ingram or somebody's next. Have a great Thanksgiving.
I didn't want you to be on camera.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura Ingram. Welcome to this special Thanksgiving edition of the Ingram Angle from Washington tonight. We're going to take you through the topics that dominate Thanksgiving tables across the land and interviews that we've done that speak to those very issues. And on tonight's show, Raymond Arroyo and I analyze the executive turkey pardoning techniques, very important, of various presidents. And we'll talk about some of our favorite family traditions. And then we're going to dive into Thanksgiving do's and don'ts of our own. And I have football, of course, is such an integral part of Thanksgiving traditions. And we recently spoke to legendary coach Lou Holtz about the dangerous conflation of sports and politics. The entertainment industry is always a hot topic at the dinner table, and even more so this year. So we're going to bring you highlights from our interview with Hollywood heavyweight Rob Reiner and ask him why Trump derangement syndrome is such a powerful force in Tinseltown. But first we begin with a frightening realization that millions of families across the country face tonight.
I saw yours.
Over turkeys.
The
total horror of that unfolded all across the land. And just last year, a poll from PBS NewsHour and Marist found that 58% of Americans dread talking politics, while 31% said they were eager to hash it out over the table. And even more alarming, an issue of Science magazine this past May revealed that Thanksgiving celebrations that year, were about 30 to 50 minutes shorter for Americans who crossed partisan lines for the holiday than those who traveled to areas that voted as they did. Well, joining me now is our own little Thanksgiving gathering. So excited. Shannon Bream, chief legal correspondent and host of the show airing right after this one, Fox News at Night, one of my faves, and of course Scott Bolden, Democratic strategist, an attorney, of course, and Sarah Carter, investigative journalist and Fox News contributor, and Ed Henry, chief national correspondent, all the way up in New York. Guys, it's great to have you all on tonight. And Shannon, I want to start with you. You heard those two studies. Are we really this far apart politically? And how do you control your interactions, especially with family members who can push your buttons like nobody else?
I think you get everyone into the turkey coma. What is it? The tryptophan is the thing that gets everybody happy. You've got football. I mean, you've got pumpkin pies. I mean, there are so many other things to focus on other than the sad, horrible jabbing at each other. I mean, if you show up, first of all, in your pajamas to the table, that's a conversation starter. You can stay in your adult onesie as long as you can. And then I would rather debate the stuffing. Like, is it filling? Is it wet filling? Is it stuffing? I'd rather debate that than politics.
But it is kind of crazy, though. I mean, I remember the old saying, never talk politics.
I was about to say that.
At the table. My mother used to say that a lot. And I think that there's really something to that. Especially like you go to Europe, and people say you go to Europe. And they're always kind of surprised. It's like, what do you do? They don't even ask, what do you do? It's always about, is this wine great? Or have something else? Do you like this? But we do get all wound up.
Yeah, we're wound way too tight. And by the way, I still don't talk to my clients about religion or politics, whether there's alcohol involved or not. But I think everyone ought to start the Thanksgiving dinner table, pre-table setting with alcohol. Whatever you do that day, you drink. Drink and keep drinking and stuff. Should I say that on national TV?
Yeah, that's fine.
But moderately drinking, but also maybe just a little buzz, because everybody will be happy at the table.
Well, except for those mean parts.
Yeah, unless you have.
You got to keep those out. They go eat on the porch.
All right. Sarah, for them. Sarah, but I think people feel when they're with family, especially, that they can kind of let their hair down and they can have these conversations at the table. Right? It's a safe space, but is it really?
Well, it's a safe space until everybody starts arguing, right? And that's when everything ends. So if you want the 30 to 50 minute short version of Thanksgiving, go ahead and bring up politics, right? Then you can scoot everyone out of the house. But if you don't, I think the important thing is, Laura, is like sitting down. What we try to do is talk about the things that we're grateful for, right? We try to just steer away, like what we're grateful for each other, the things we've done over the year, try to focus on those things that make us happy as a family. And especially when you have children, right? When you have kids sitting around the table and there's a lot of adults, you know, it's a time to just kind of behave yourself. Right. And when they're listening. And when somebody starts to get out of line, that's when you bring in the pumpkin pie or the sweet potato pie or the alcohol or the more champagne for everyone. You know, play a little joke about that and go on. I really think, though, you just brought up so many great points here. We're living in a time where people are so divisive, and we've seen what, you know, is happening in California with the wildfires, the devastation, the loss of life. I think it's a time to sit back and be grateful for what we have and who we are, and just talk about those things. Those are the things that are going to make
and by the way, these dinners are going to continue because we're going to be going into the Hanukkah season. We're going to be going Advent starting, then it's Christmas, then it's New Year's. So there's going to be a whole series of opportunities to offend each other. So that's why do a limited out. Don't limit it to today. All right, Ed, everybody at this table and you. First of all, we wish you were here because we're all thinking, no, we're not. But Ed, we wish you were here because we love you. But we wish you were here. But Ed, Here's what I find is people come up to me at the table from having, like, well, I know you don't want to talk shop.
Hey, guys.
But, and then they just go, I know you're sick of politics, but do you mind if I say this? And what are you going to say? No. But that happens to me all the time. And of course you think, oh, no, happy to talk GDP. I'm happy to talk. Yeah, that's just what I want to do on Thanksgiving. But do you ever get that?
I get it all the time. You're absolutely right. And you don't want to seem rude and say, you know, stop talking to me about it. But I talk politics all day. Let's talk about something else. And frankly, that's what I want to add to the conversation. Why are we even forcing it? If people are so divided, let's talk about things that unite us. And you heard it from Sarah, Shannon, and Scott as well. Talk about family. You know, oddly, religion is almost less than that. Talk about your faith. Talk about football. How about football? Nobody's mentioned football yet.
Yeah, well,
depending on what's your team?
All I can say is 2 words.
TDS is real. Turkey derangement syndrome is real.
Okay. All right, here are 5 ways to keep family political arguments off the table. Okay, number 1, reminisce about Thanksgiving dinners past. Number 2, accept that mundane conversational questions are fine. Number 3, skip the tradition of going around the table at all and saying what you're grateful for. This sounds counterintuitive, but expressing gratitude invites political statements like, I'm glad Democrats won the midterms. I'm glad that California flip-flops.
That's always that ant, right?
I am, but I won't say that. I am, but I won't say that.
But Scott, this is for you. Number 5, limit alcohol and during the meal, Scott. So
alcohol is a depressant. The mean drunks will go to sleep.
No, but Ed, isn't that right? Because some people, when they drink, they lose their inhibitions. So they might have been a little bit.
Another thing about Donald Trump, and another thing, and by the way, crooked Hillary.
When you really think about it, like when we all take our last breaths, and we all hope that's not anytime soon, but when we do, we're not going to be remembering anything about any of the political stuff that has happened. Really, we're not. We're going to remember when we saw our child for the first time. That hug from your mother when you're hurting, when you helped someone or someone helped you, or mistakes that you learned from. That's the kind of stuff you remember, right?
I mean, you remember when you look in your child's face and you remember the first time they took their first walk, or the first time they came home and said, "Mommy, I love you," for after school, or the things that you did together as a family to get through the hard times, we've forgotten about service to others, right? Just taking a moment to do something for somebody else and not for ourselves, and maybe that's a good thing that'll get families together tonight. do something for somebody else, for a stranger, and make yourselves feel good about it. You know, it's a good feeling to get away from yourself.
But you know, if it does delve into politics, I'd like to drive the conversation to really just how great this country is.
Right.
Whether we're Democrats or Republicans, we got a lot to be thankful for just being here in this country. And I'm going to challenge my family members. If we're being divisive and both sides can take blame, what individually we're going to do to bring this country together in our own space and our own community.
Right.
That's a great conversation.
This is why I love Scott. You all really need to work. Come on, you guys auditioning for the Hallmark.
That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it.